the last 2-3 years, self-compassion, self-love, happy Friday to you. Self-compassion, self-love has been a big thing for me, okay? I went through 2 really, really bad years. Yep, pandemic years, 2020, 2021, and half of 2022 have been really bad for me in terms of relationships and family dynamics, just hectic. And I ramped up my self-compassion and my self-love because a lot of people were against me. A lot of people didn't want to talk to me. A lot of people disagreed with me. And that was fine. I actually got to a point where I was okay with all of that. I put boundaries up in place that people got sort of disturbed by and they didn't understand why, but I did it. And I feel better for it, you know, and in doing that, I actually healed those relationships. It's quite strange, but those strained relationships are now coming back and sorting out. So if you see my butterflies on the back of the wall, I added another one this morning. It's day 5 of the Self-Love and Mindfulness Challenge. Welcome back, friends. You are winning. You smashing it, okay? You are, because you here. It's day 5. It's day 5, and you are smashing it, right? We've got 9 more days to go. Make sure that you log on. It's 30 minutes a day, and it's for you. It's your time. It's time to explore some loving kindness, some good vibe towards yourself, and in return, we're going to do it for the world. So what we went through yesterday is a little exercise that I'd like to start off with now. It's called the butterfly hug. And you can do it even if you're a tough guy, no problem. I've seen bikers do this, you know. Turn your hands like this. Then we go like this. Then we join our thumbs. And then you have a butterfly, okay? And as you can see, butterflies are a big thing for me because it's all about transformation of self, right? So just gently tapping your chest with the butterfly wings, breathing in, taking in a deep breath, and slowly breathe it out. Feel the butterfly wings on you, breathing in again. Breathe it out with self-control and tenderness. A sharp breath in and a beautiful butterfly breath out. Doesn't that feel good? Just by patting yourself like this or a self-hug like this, it releases that feel-good chemical, oxytocin, which is a love chemical. And you know what's interesting is that your body doesn't know the difference between a self-hug and a hug from somebody else. I know it's bizarre, but our bodies are really smart, right? It keeps your heart beating, you keep breathing, but the body, when it feels that contact, it feels, okay, it's time to feel the love, oxytocin, bonding, dopamine, feel-good chemical, serotonin. I've got this. You're hacking all your best chemicals by doing something like this. Can you believe it? It's true. It's true. It's crazy, but it's true. And that's why self-kindness, self-nurturing, self-love is very, very important for our mental health. Yeah, thanks to you. Time for self-love after the storm. That's for sure. The big storm. And I hope that the storm eases for all of you. Let's get into our practice today, the content of what we are looking at today. What kind of work do you love to do? That's the question this morning. Love to hear from you once again in the Q&A. What feeds your soul? Maybe it's not your job that you have now. I know a lot of people are sort of like, oh, I'm so bored of my job. I hate my job. I can't stand my job. That is pretty sad, right? Because our jobs is like the thing we do all day long. And then, you know, so what do? Do we work for the evening? Do we work for our weekends? You know, can we open up to what kind of work do you love to do? Would you like to paint? Would you like to draw? Would you like to write a book? Would you like to teach exercise classes? Do you like cooking? Is that a nice job? Is that the kind of work you like to do? Is it a charity organization? Are you involved with a charity and that's the work that you love to do? Is it gardening perhaps? That's a bit of work, right? Is it physical fitness? Is that the work you love to do? Train others, yoga teacher, these things, okay? I mean, there's passion. I'm glad because I get to do what I love to do. But it took a lot of determination and a lot of guts to walk out of advertising and move into mental wellness full time, because I was like, well, who's going to listen to me, you know? And that was my inner critic. Who's going to listen to you? And I caught that inner critic and I said, hey, Tula Wena, you know, hang on a minute. I can do this. I've got this. I'm going to do this job and people are going to come. And it worked. Okay. So what kind of work do you love to do, right? What makes you happy? What feeds your soul? What feeds your soul? So someone's saying definitely designing clothes. Wow. Wow. Okay. So you want to get into clothes designing. That would feed your soul. That would make you happy. Thank you for popping that in the Q&A in the chats. It could be a sideline thing. You're making a little bit of extra cash doing something. Maybe it's craft work, baking cakes. You know, maybe it could be all of these things. Doing landscape gardening and cooking. Yeah, absolutely. And I love that, cooking. So many people think that cooking is like a chore. Something you just got to do that's so boring. I'd rather be watching TV, you know. But you can turn that into something that you love, right? So I love to cook as well, and I never really thought that was a cool thing to do. But as you do it, you know it can be a wonderful experience, right? It can be a wonderful experience. So thank you for sharing some of the things that you love and the work that you love, and what it is that you would like to do. We're looking here at self-kindness, common humanity, and of course mindfulness. Now, these three are what make up self-love. All right. So we can go through it. We can go through it now. So common humanity really is recognizing that we are imperfect. Okay, we're not perfect. None of us are perfect. And I think the problem with a lot of us and why we burn out and why we feel down about ourselves is because we strive for perfection. We think that we should be perfect. We think that we should be the best at what we do. You know, nobody wants to be average, right? Everybody wants to be the best and to be seen as being the best. But often we fall short of that. And that's because we're human, right? Everyone. So everyone has their stuff. Everyone is actually going through some sort of an issue, some sort of a hard time. And that's that common humanity, all right? That's a common humanity, is that everybody's experiencing that. You are not alone. It's not just your life that's up and down all the time. It's everyone. It's everybody, okay? So you can show yourself some kindness because that's the human condition. And you look on Facebook and it's like everybody else's life looks like they're having a great time. No, okay? It's up and down. It's up and down for everybody. And that's that common humanity that we're all going through some form of suffering, not just you on your own, okay? So give yourself a break. Then self-kindness is to say, okay, I recognize that inner critic, that voice in my head, sometimes very harsh, doesn't speak kindly to me, brings me down. Catch that voice, say, come on now, you know, don't be so hard. Would you speak to your best friend in the same way that you talk to yourself, the same tone of voice, the words that you choose? You know, I caught myself saying yesterday, come on, you lazy bum, go to gym, get off the couch. You know, would you say that to your best friend? Would you say that to your husband or your wife? No, no. I could say to myself, hey man, you know, how about we we go and have some fun at the gym and we get fit. You know, how about that? Rather than you lazy bum. And mindfulness is the other component where we catch ourselves, speaking in this way to ourselves. Because a lot of people are beating themselves up, speaking negatively to themselves, but they don't actually see it. They don't realize it. It goes undetected under the radar. And the guy from Google, the mindfulness coach from Google, his name is Chade Mentang. He says, when you develop awareness, HD resolution of mind, you can start to see these voices, these harmful things in your mind. And then you can say, okay, I'm going to change this. I'm going to rewire this. I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to nurture this little voice in my mind that seems to be saying hard things to me, you know? So I thought maybe we could do a little exercise in those three. Okay. So it goes like this. Oh, wait, I'm seeing more comments. It's playing with grandkids, painting with them, lending a helping hand to senior citizens. It's beautiful. That's the work you love to do, right? I'd love to do interior design, organizing events. Woo, that's a tough one, but very cool. I used to do some of that. Travel blogging. Wow. Imagine just being paid to travel and blog. That's a cool job. We are conditioned to be perfect. We are. And maybe your parents expected you to be perfect, and your teachers or your school or your siblings or your friends, or I don't know, you know, nobody's perfect. Not even the most beautiful person is perfect, right? Not even the most beautiful person. And as we age, we lose that beauty as well. So how can we be perfect? And that's okay. It's okay not to be perfect. So there are three elements, remember? Mindfulness, okay, common humanity, and the last one was self-kindness. Those are the three ingredients that we need to cultivate for loving ourselves. So maybe do this with me, okay? Open your hands like this, okay? How does that feel, opening your hands? All right, now you can't type, so you can't let me know because your hands are open, so it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna say it feels like it. I feel open, I feel spacious. All right, so this is the quality of mindfulness, that we can be open and spacious and aware of what's going on. So it's not a closed thing. We're not in a prison. We are open, we are free to see what's happening. And that's the quality of mindfulness, all right? Then the next one is like this. It's actually a hug, okay? It's an embracing. You can do it. Move your arms like this. And that's embracing our common humanity, that we all suffer, that we all have bad days, and you're not alone in that, okay? And that feeds into our self-love, because we're not evil, we're not bad, we're not being punished. We're not alone in that. Everybody's up and down. That's our common humanity. And then dropping your hands. And the last one is your right hand on your heart for self-kindness, that I'm going to be nice to myself. You remember the nice meditation? I'm going to be nice to myself. I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm going to give myself a break. I'm going to be patient with myself and all of those things, okay? All of those wonderful things. So we can even do that as like a little bit of a dance, you know? Maybe I can show you. It goes like this.
I am not trying to do when the death they call me Magarena, and the boys they say.
Okay, I know I'm stupid. You see, I said it. I'm stupid. That's a self-critic right there. But I'm saying it as a joke. But I'm not going to say that again. How funny was that? Do the Macarena to the mindfulness, common humanity, and self-kindness. Hey? Remember that song? That was a ridiculous dance. So I'm just showing you those three things. so that you remember. It's important to add some movement. Okay, mindfulness. We're all in this together, common humanity. Self-kindness, to be nice to myself. Okay, to be kind to myself. It's a beautiful move, and it's a radical move. It's a revolution, actually, because when maybe you're a kid, you were taught to be perfect. You were expected to be perfect, and not so. So maybe there was someone in your life that was a loving parent, a grandparent. Maybe it's your gogo, somebody that, loved you unconditionally. Maybe you have a partner or a friend that does that. They see you and they love you and they accept everything about you, okay? And think about people that have given you guidance, love, help, confidence, and support in your life. Think about them for a moment. Who are those people? I often like to imagine a tree, like a magical tree, and they're all sitting in the tree. And there's like cushions, and it's like a Harry Potter kind of a tree, and they're just chilling. And I'm standing there and they're all looking at me, waving, smiling, having a good afternoon. And I'm just feeling the love from all of them, those that gave me good guidance in my life, those that gave me love in my life, those that helped me, those that gave me confidence, those that gave me support. All right. I feel without those people, what would I be? And I honor them and I love them and I would do anything for them, right? Now, let's change that up. Let's think of people that depend on you, okay? There's always someone that's depending on you. Who is it that you support? And if you want to let me know, you're more than welcome to. Who do you look after? It might be your parent is ill, that you look after them. Maybe they don't have a job and you help them financially. Your children, obviously, you look after them, your partner. Maybe you have someone that works in your home cleaning, you look after them. Someone that works in the garden, you look after them. Maybe you look after your colleagues at work. And a lot of us think our jobs are just mundane and boring. And we're just trying to get to the weekend. We're just trying to get to Friday. But think about it in a bigger way, that your role is important. Your job is important. Number one, because you earn money, and with that money, you support the economy and you support those people that rely on you. And number two, you are contributing, to the entire organization. If you weren't there, the organization would be one person less, one person shorter of a good person, okay, of a wonderful person. So you do contribute, and even if you don't like your job, who depends on you? And it's like, I think there's so many people that depend on you, right? Even the car guard that like you give 5 Rand to or something. And it's the same when our mental wellness is not good, when we have low self-worth, when we are going through depression or burnout or anxiety, overwhelm, all of these things, we move into that fight, flight, or freeze state. And I have a match here and a flame, and because it's burnout, you start to feel burnout. And there was a study done by British Columbia University in school where there was one teacher that was very, very stressed out. And there was another teacher in another room teaching different kids, and that teacher was calm and feeling okay. And they found that the children that attended the class of the stressed out teacher, they had higher levels of cortisol. They did a mouth swab, and they found that the cortisol levels in those children were higher. And cortisol is a stress chemical, okay? So the children with a teacher that's calm, their cortisol levels were low. So just one person can affect everybody else in your organization, in your family. And that's why it's just so important to look after our mental health, because it's not just you, it's everybody around you that gets affected, but in the positive way as well. As soon as we ramp up our self-love, our mindfulness, our self-awareness, our self-management, then that spreads to everybody else as well. It's just because we're connected, and it's that common humanity I was talking about. There's two ways we can live, intrinsically and extrinsic. Extrinsic's like if you drink coffee. Extrinsic's like I'm drinking coffee so I can be awake, okay? Intrinsic would be like I'm drinking this coffee because it's just so nice and it tastes good. You see the difference between the two? So what about your job? What about your career? Is it intrinsic or extrinsic? Do you just work for money, or can you move into a space of working because it's fun or enjoyable, or it's somehow awesome because you have a job? I know it sounds pretty difficult maybe to think that way. Khalil Gibran says, work is love made visible. Can you imagine your job is love made visible? It's such a beautiful quote, okay? And we can look at our jobs and our hobbies and our passions and our charity, maybe with new eyes, with different eyes, in the way that work is love made visible. Isn't that beautiful? Someone saying, I love to help other people, playing with kids. Mandy, you can access the chat. I've attended all the sessions. You've just popped a message in. Love this dance. Dun, da, 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 dun, da, da, da. The Macarena. It's not the Macarena. It's the self-love dance. Tonight, when you go dancing, do that on the dance floor. Okay. Remember, mindfulness, common humanity, self-kindness. Okay. I look after my mom. Older sisters and grandchildren, we look after wife and daughter, mom, mother-in-law, father-in-law. That's a big responsibility. I look after my siblings. I look after my kids. I look after my parents. How many people here have had brothers and sisters that have died, and they've left their kids behind that we now help and look after? And just think that you are doing the most incredible work. You are doing the most beautiful thing by supporting other people and for being you. So celebrate the work that you do. We've been celebrating our good qualities. We've been celebrating the small wins in our day, and now we can celebrate our work, okay? Because our work is love. And love, quite simply, is the wish for happiness, for happiness for you, for happiness for everyone. Compassion to end suffering for you and for everybody else. And that's the love and the compassion. We all want to be happy, and we want to end suffering. Here's the EQ model. Through mindfulness, we develop self-awareness and we develop self-management. And as we do that, our other awareness and other management just gets better and grows. But EQ can only start with self-awareness. And if we're being unkind to ourselves and we recognize it, that's the self-awareness, and we start there, and that's where EQ starts. And EQ is the most admired quality, more than IQ, in the workplace and in life. Okay? So let's just do a little practice together. This is called the inner healer. Let's take in a deep breath and breathe it out. Calming your mind, resting your awareness on your breathing. Imagine the most loving and compassionate person you've ever known. Maybe it was your gogo, maybe your grandfather, your opa, maybe it was someone, a friend, whatever. Maybe you've never had someone like that in your life. But maybe if you're religious, it could be a religious icon or someone that you pray to. And imagine there was a voice, their voice inside of your mind. And it's a part of you. It's part of your self-talk. There's an inner healer. Yes, there's an inner critic that brings you down. But at the same time, there's also a part of you that's wise and compassionate. There is. And what would that inner voice say to you? Maybe it would be, I'm right here. I have nowhere better to be than with you right now. I don't need you to be brave or better than you are. I just love you. I see you. And we will face it together. Maybe you don't have anyone in your life that says these words, but you can say it to yourself. I'm right here. I have nowhere better to be than with you right now. I don't need you to be more brave or better than you are right now. I just love you. I see you. We will face this together. As we say these words to ourselves, our bodies soften and our immune system is boosted and we feel loved. And our bodies don't know the difference between beautiful self-talk and beautiful self-talk from somebody else. So as we soothe ourselves with these kind words, our body responds beautifully and we heal, we get better. It affects our biology, and as we reprogram that inner voice, and we can be the change we want to see, in this case, the change that we want to hear. Let's take in another beautiful deep inhalation. And breathe it out the mouth. That's great. So I always give us some home practice because mindfulness is all about the work that you do. You know, not the work that I can do for you. I can't. I just point in the right way. Go there, and then you must do it. Spend some time today getting in contact with the inner healer. Maybe write down, what would my inner healer say to me about what I'm going through at the moment? You know, my inner doctor, my inner Sangoma. What would they say to me? Okay. What words would they use, and how would they talk to me? And do I talk to myself from the inner healer space, or do I talk to myself from another place? Whatever chores you're doing, whether it's washing dishes, chopping vegetables, making food, cooking, making the bed, cleaning, washing the dishes, imagine doing it with love. Remember, work is love made visible. Slow it down and feel that this is an act of love for your family and for yourself. And also your job. It's an act of love for your organization, for your colleagues, for you. It's not just this boring thing that I got to do every day that irritates me. Let's reframe that, okay? The inner healer can tell us, yes, this is true. And then if you are journaling, list all the good things that you do, all the goodness, all the good work that you do that helps other people, okay? Celebrate all those good things about yourself. And we carry on celebrating ourselves and what we do. This is essential to our mental health because a lot of burnout and depression is around feeling low self-worth, not feeling connected, not feeling that we are worthy, not feeling meaningful, not feeling that we contribute. So let's ramp that up. Thank you. Yes. People can really be affected by our emotions, and it's a responsibility. Can your job be both intrinsic and extrinsic? I guess so. I drink coffee for a bit of a lift. Yes, I do. But at the same time, I drink coffee because I enjoy it. So I guess you could just ramp up the intrinsic a little bit more. You know, the enjoyment of it, the fun of it. Maybe. There must be some good aspects, right? Thank you, friends. It's 1 minute past 9. Have yourselves a wonderful Friday.